1985, Caldwell County has one of the best wrestlers in the entire state roaming their mat room. He's already won one state championship, and he's on a quest to win his second consecutive. Sir, if you would, introduce yourself.
My name is David Richey. I'm from Caldwell County. Wrestled there since I was, I guess, 7th grade for the high school team. And
you have some absolutely phenomenal stats, some phenomenal post-high school accolades that we'll talk about in another video. But this is your 1985 video. But before we get to your match, your bracket, and all that, how do you find wrestling? How does a young Dave Richey find wrestling in Caldwell County?
I had two older brothers, Jeff and Troy. They started wrestling.
Okay.
And, they were a little older than me. And I was in the 2nd grade, and I thought, well, if they're going to do it, I've got to do it.
Right.
You know, we kind of run together.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I wrestled all the way through high school, you know.
And you had an absolutely phenomenal career, but like I said, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, the 1984 state finals is ones I really want to get my hands on because there's some phenomenal wrestling going on. You're a 1984 state champion at 105 pounds. Let's go over your bracket in 1984. You start off the day, or the tournament I should say, wrestling John Boyd from Oldham County. You win that by a fall. It says 34 seconds. Pretty quick. The next, looks like you're wrestling, I think it's Nolte from Trinity.
Okay.
You win that. It's by a decision. I really can't tell because the paper, you really just can't tell with this old one.
Sure.
But you get to the finals, you're wrestling Thad Judy from Harrison County. And it says you win that by a fall in 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yes.
So you're there, you're not there for a long time, you're there to get in, get out, right?
Right.
Boom. Now, do you remember how you got the pin in that?
I don't remember,
Okay,
but
that's
it
fine.
would be in a headlock of some sort.
And you'll see that. You're pretty good with the head and arm.
Oh, yes.
We've watched your stuff. We've got Willie Ennels off camera. We've got Livingston Merritt, and there's been guys in and out all day. And when I told everybody, you was going to be here today, it's like, oh, man, we got to watch this 85 and 86. So we've been watching. We've probably watched your video probably 20 times already today, everybody coming in. But let's talk about your 1985 because this is the 1985 video. Now, you're a returning state champion. As a junior. We didn't have this thing called Facebook. We didn't have this thing called TikTok, and they couldn't really find out who you are unless they just were in the gym.
Right.
So when you go to a gym as a returning state champion, do people know who you are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're
well, good.
small enough state because we're just we're not separated in 1A, 2A, 3A.
Right.
We wrestle all the state.
Yep, and that's a beautiful thing about Kentucky wrestling is it's one champion.
That's
one
right.
individual champion and one team champion for the whole state. All 120 counties, all however many member schools we have wrestling now. If you win it, you're the best. That's the way it should be. So you start off your 1985 state tournament against Chris Hennessy from Fern Creek. You win that by a fall. You get to the second round, which would be the quarters back then. You're wrestling Jimmy Rice from Boyle County. You win that by a pin.
Yes.
You get to the semis. You're wrestling Jamie Ball from Simon Kenton. You win that by a 12-6 decision. Now, it's got your record coming in 28-0. You're wrestling from Hopkinsville, John Poindexter.
Yes.
And you're 28-0. It's got John's record at 31-3. Now, we're going to go ahead and tell you, you win this, but we're not going to tell you how. But before we get there, got a couple little things here we're going to show you. And you've got your original 1985 medal, and on my Facebook I done a poll of which medal style was the favorite, and this one by far has won the 4 individual wrestling caricatures. 112 pounds, 1985, and I mean, for it being, I was born in 1985, so I mean, this is in good shape for, you were winning state championships in
Right,
'85. I was
right.
born in '85.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that you have this. There'll be some other medals to come in the 1986 video, but now you have the DVDs of your state finals, which is cool that you have those all these years. But like, when was the last time you think you watched them?
Well, I watched them the other day when I spoke to you.
Okay.
And I want to get on there and know what I was talking about.
Right.
And so.
Well,
that would be.
I understand. Now, coming into your junior year, you've been there once before.
Right.
Do the nerves feel the same? Is it the same mindset of let's get in, let's do what we do, get off the mat, let's not mess around?
Well,
right?
when I'm on the mat, I start to doing the walk, you know, to get my head back in the game.
Right.
And but the biggest thing is everybody's put up this big ordeal where you're an undefeated state champion last year, so
Right.
are you going to make it all the way to the finals undefeated this year? But yeah, when I'm looking over, me and John were good friends, so I would look over at John and I'm just pacing the mat, and of course I'm trying to get it to my head right.
Right.
And of course you're telling yourself, oh, he wants to take my state title, he wants to do this and who.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you're telling yourself all this, so when you come out, you're on your toes and firing off.
Oh yeah, and something too, in case you're not familiar, in 1985, Hopkinsville wins the team state championship. They had some phenomenal wrestlers on that team, and John Poindexter was in the finals twice. He was in the finals in '85 and 1987. So, of course, we're going to put it on now, guys. If you want to come behind us and watch, take a seat. You do some of your families here with us today, so we're going to hit the space bar. Let's go back to 1985.
See, I'm doing the
Oh yeah, you got to pace.
the pace.
Absolutely, like a lion or something. Like it's like a tiger getting ready to.
Right.
Two tigers going at it. Tiger on tiger crime. Now, do you remember the horn malfunction right there? Did you hear that?
It's yeah, because it come up and I hadn't rested, you know, at zero. And
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Because when I got this video, I was watching, and I was like, man, they've had a clock malfunction. I just didn't know if you remembered anything about
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
All right, so John's moving pretty good on his feet. What was your go-to takedown right here?
It'd either be a single or a snap down, but you can see the way I'm wrestling. It's not. It's kind of unorthodox, and that the reason is I had to wrestle John in the regionals and everything else. So I've wrestled him several times, so I didn't want to come out there and just, you know, try to do the same thing I normally do.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, it's, of course, you guys probably wrestle districts, regions,
Yes.
probably some tournaments around
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah.
You had to drive all the way to Louisville. You could drive, what, 30 minutes across?
That's right.
But, I mean, this is the state tournament, man. This is the show.
Right.
We're out. We're out. Do you remember hearing the crowd, anything like that? Because it's kind of loud on this video.
No, I don't. Actually, can't hear the crowd.
Okay.
When I'm out there, I do have an ear listening for my coaches.
Right.
But most of the time,
There it is. Now, nowadays we call that the assassin. You're stretching him out. There it is. You get your fall. Now, this is the best part.
I've done that. All three are.
And I'm so glad that
84, 85, and 86.
I'm so glad that we finally got that on there. So there it is. State champion. And there's some of your teammates.
Yeah.
This also has the medal ceremony.
Right.
And every video I've got from Atherton, no matter what year, the gym is full. I mean, the gym is...
Well, that's what made Atherton High so such a great place to
Yeah.
be, because you could actually you were forced in together. You didn't have the horse park where it's all spread
Yeah.
out and everything. And I think Atherton is the best place ever been.
Did you ever get to go to the dungeon at Frankfurt? Under the lights
At Atherton High?
in Frankfurt. At the dungeon, they called it?
I don't know. Oh, well, if my son was
Yeah.
wrestling there, but he wasn't in this one.
Okay. And then here you are getting this is the original medal that you're seeing.
Yes.
You were handed.
Yes.
Right there. It's amazing. So now you've got a chance to watch it and relive it. Did it play out the way that you remember?
Oh, yeah, because I watched it the other day.
Well,
so,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess before that, like.
But I was such good friends with Hoptown,
Right.
Christian, all the towns around us, because we dual meet,
Right.
whatever, and we all actually became real good friends with all of them. It wasn't just one person. And so I loved wrestling the guys I knew, but I always had to change up
Yep.
my stance. I know a lot of people say, well, that looks stupid. Well, I've wrestled this guy 10 times.
It was effective. I mean,
Right.
whatever you done was effective.
Right.
So, you're such a good wrestler. The video's not going to be very long because you got a pin in 1 minute 30 seconds. So that's all we have for 1985. We're going to do another video for 1986. We'll see you guys there.